Be honest with me, are you slamming Aragon and Berserkers into people rolling a mountain of dice, and then somehow still losing on points? You get the big charges, things die, it feels metal as hell, and then the scoreboard says you lost by 20 points. That is rough. In this video, we're getting a clear winning path for World Eaters in Warhammer 40,000, using the Vessels of Wrath detachment and the Pharaoh Nexus missions. You'll walk away with one list path at 500, 1,000, and 2,000 points that will grow from the same models plus a simple game plan you can actually remember at the table. You don't need old edition lore or deep math, just a clean, this is what my army does plan, so you can get your first win with World Eaters this week instead of just feeding the Blood God and the Lost column at the same time. Why are you losing with World Eaters? You're not losing because your army is bad, you're losing because the mission doesn't care how cool your charges looked. Most new World Eater players do this. See something, charge it, kill it. In the wrong part of the board. You chase units on the edge, your hammers drift away from the center, and the opponent calmly scores more objectives while you high-five yourselves over a dead tank. World Eaters win when you decide where the fight happens. Your army wants one huge scrimmage in and around the center objectives. If a fight doesn't change who controls an objective or block your opponent from scoring, it's probably a bad fight. So from now on, think in jobs, not just units. Your anvil is one tough berserker block that lives near the middle. Your hammers are 8-bound and exalted 8-bound that move just behind your anvils. You have utility units, your jackals, the rhinos, that hold safe objectives, screen, and set up charges. If a move doesn't help one of those three jobs, you questioned it. Now here's a takeaway for you. Your first upgrade is mindset. You're not just a random blender army. You're a drag them into the meat grinder on the points army. The axes are the tools, the scoreboard is the goal. So here's your detachment and your core game plan. You might look at Blessings of Corn and Vessels of Wrath and think, that's extra brain work. I'll just roll dice. Don't. This detachment is very simple once you line it up with how you want to play. You're using Vessels of Wrath. The key rule is Wrath of Corn. At the start of each battle round, after you activate your blessings, you pick up 3 champions. Those models become Vessels of Wrath. Then you pick 1 extra blessing of corn. That only turns on for their units that round. So each round, you highlight 3 key units and give them a special faction buff. So don't pre-pick your favorites. Every round, ask yourself, which berserkers are actually holding the middle this turn? Which hammer unit is about to make the important charge? Those champions get marked as vessels. They're your VPs for the round. Now it's time to plug in your best stratagems. Brazen Contempt. You got picked by big guns. Use this to make their wound rolls worse. And it's even stronger if that unit is a vessel. Meet force with force. You get shot, you blood surge closer, and vessels or berserkers re-roll the distance. That sets up your next turn's charge. Now Glory of Dedication. You kill something on an objective, you bless it, and it stays yours until your opponent really outcontrols it. Perfect for the midboard. Think about CP like this each round. 1 CP to keep your anvil alive using Brazen Contempt. 1 CP to win a key fight. Meet force with force or a melee damage buff. 1 CP for utility, the Glory Dedication to lock an objective or a clutch strat later. If a strat doesn't change points or protect your core, skip it. And here's the takeaway from that. Your rules are not random spice. Vessels of Wrath tells you which units matter this round. Your strats tell you when to spend CP. Together, they push you towards smart fights on the objective instead of a wild hero charge in the corner. So now let's work on building an army. You don't want a random pile of models. You want a clean shopping and painting path that ends at 2,000 points. We're going to build a ladder starting with your 500 points to get the fill of the army. Then we're going to move it up to 1,000 points. And then we'll finally move it to your 1,000 point tournament ready army. So the step 1 is your 500 points. It's for your small starter games. You want your Lord Invictus, 10 Corn Berserkers, 3 Exalted 8-bound, and 10 Jackals. Here's a quick rundown how it plays. Berserkers are your mid-anvil. They go toward the center and they set on the important ground. Your Exalted 8-bound are your hammer. They hide behind terrain, then jump anything that touches your anvil. Your jackals hold your home or a safe side objective and screen out deep strikes or sneaky units. Your lord is speed and punch. He runs with a hammer or helps a flank move faster. At this level, your goal is simple. Learn movement, charges, and how to keep your hammer and anvil within one move of each other. So now we're going to move up to our 1,000-point army. We're going to add these units to the 500-point list. We're going to add 10 Khorne Berserkers, 3 8-bound, Khan the Betrayer, 1 Chaos Rhino. Now your jobs start looking like this. Berserkers or Khan are your main anvil. You move them near the center of the board. Then your second Berserker squad either helps mid or holds a side. Then we have the 8-bound and the Exalted 8-bound. Your 2 hammers that trade into anything that contests the middle. Then we have the Rhino. It moves a Berserker unit safely or let you swing from one flank to another without losing a turn at shooting. Your Jackals are still utility, still screen and home objectives. You keep the same idea. Stage behind terrain, touch the central objectives, make your opponents come close, and punish them. So now let's move this up to a full strike force list and keep everything above and add roughly in Ergon, your 10 Jackal second unit, a third unit of 10 Khorne Berserkers, second unit of 3 8-bound, a second unit of 3 Exalted 8-bound, a second Chaos Rhino. At this point, you have characters. Your characters you have now are Ergon, your Lord Invictus, and Khorne. Your battle line core are 3 Berserkers. Your hammers are 2 8-bound, 2 Exalted 8-bound. Your utility are 2 groups of Jackals and 2 Rhinos. And remember, the Exalted 8-bound buff in the latest data sheet. When they hit monsters or vehicles, their rend and tear ability improves their damage by 1. Here's the real 2,000-point game plan for your army, not just a random pile. It hits hard. It has bodies for the mission, and nearly everything you bought at 500 and 1,000 point lives in the big list. The takeaway here is 1 shopping path, 1 painting path, 1 list psychology. Learn the rules at 500, repeat them for 1,000, and then just add more of the same for your 2,000-point army. If this is already making your game easier to win, subscribe for more beginner-friendly Warhammer guides. Okay, so now how do you actually play this 2,000-point list? So now that you got your list, so here's a look at how this list actually plays. Here's the pain. Most lost games happen on turns 2 and 3. You rush too far forward, or you split your hammers. Or you also spend CP at the wrong fight. Then the counterpunch lands, and your whole army disappears from the middle. So to fix that, with a simple turn rhythm you can keep in your head. Step 1, move a Berserker unit with Khan toward the center objectives, but stay as safe as possible behind terrain. Park Jackals on your home objectives and maybe one side, creating a little bubble that blocks deep strike angles. Keep your 8-bound and Exalted behind the anvil, not in front of it. Rhino shelter a Berserker squad or line up to push onto a side lane next turn. At the start of the battle round, mark champions that are about to matter, usually Berserker champion up front or 1 8-bound or Exalted champion behind. Then on turn 2, this is often the big turn. Your opponent has to step onto the middle to score. Good. That's where you want them. Use a Vessel Berserker unit to hold that ground. Slam 1 or 2 hammer units into the enemy pieces that actually change the score there. Spend CP on Brazen Contempt if huge guns are pointed at your anvil. Or meet force with force to Blood Surge closer after your shot and set up the key charge. When you fight on an objective and wipe a unit, drop Glory Dedication to lock that objective as yours until they truly out-control it. That's how you turn murder into scoreboard pressure. Turn 3 and beyond, trade smart, not wild. From here, your job is to trade hammers for their best tools on or near the scoring objectives. If you're ahead, make them walk through Rhinos, Jackals, and Berserkers to get to the mid while you keep a hammer ready behind. If you're behind, aim for 1 big 2-turn swing. Flip a central objective now with a hammer, charge, and line up a fresh unit, often another Berserker block, to rotate onto the spot next turn. So here's how it plays against Space Marines. Deny clean trades, don't give them open shots on isolated units, force them to move into your threat range to see your anvil, then countercharge with 8-bound, Exalted, where it flips the objectives, how it plays against Necros or other grindy armies. Don't chase a tabling, kill, or push back units that contest the middle. Use glory, dedication to hold it, and let the mission drift your way. Here's some common mistakes. Sending your champion off on a solo mission to a side objective that doesn't matter. Throwing both hammer units in different directions on turn 1 or 2. Spending CP to slightly overkill a unit that wasn't scoring anything. The takeaway, if your hammer, anvil, and utility are all within 1 move of each other, you're spending CP only where primary and secondary points change. You're piloting this army the right way. So your World Eater's journey looks like this. Learn the rhythm at 500, repeat the same jobs at 1,000 points, then bring the full 2,000 point storm. So your World Eater's journey looks like this. Learn the rhythm at 500 points, repeat the same jobs at 1,000, then bring the full 2,000 point storm with Airgaunt, double hammers, and a wall of berserkers, owning the middle of your next game. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video on Space Marines.